I never thought I would be sitting here, talking to an empty room, trying to explain myself to walls that don't care. Honestly, I didn't think it would go this far. I really didn't. But it did. And now, here I am. Alone. Completely and utterly alone. My name is Sophie. I am 32 years old. And I really don't even know where to start. Okay. So here is the deal. My husband, well, my ex-husband, Lucas. He is a great guy. On paper, at least. He works hard as a forensic accountant. He is loyal. He has always been there for me. But I guess I have been feeling a little restless. You know? Nothing huge, just a feeling. Like maybe I was missing something. I mean, Lucas and I have been married for almost 10 years. We have 2 beautiful kids. Leo is 8, and Mia is 5. I love them. Of course I love them. I am a mother. But somewhere along the line, between the soccer practices and the endless laundry and Lucas's late nights at the office staring at spreadsheets, I felt like I lost a part of myself. I felt like the spark had died. And Lucas, he didn't seem to care. He was content. He was happy with the boring routine. But I needed more. I deserved more, didn't I? Then, out of nowhere, I get this message. It was from Dominic. Dominic was my college boyfriend, the one who got away, the wild one. We hadn't spoken in years, not since graduation, but he reached out on Instagram just to catch up, and I thought, why not? I mean, it has been forever. We had a great time back then. No harm in talking, right? Just a little innocent conversation. So I texted him back, and it turns out, he was planning a massive birthday celebration in Miami, Florida. Sunday sand, excitement, and guess what? He invited me. All expenses paid. The man is wealthy now. Real estate mogul wealthy. He was flying me out there, saying I could stay at his penthouse for the weekend. At first, I was like, okay, this is a little weird. But then I started thinking, it might actually be fun. A weekend getaway for me. A break from the diapers and the cooking and the silence of my marriage. I deserve that, right? I work hard too. I didn't tell Lucas the truth. Not because I thought it was wrong. No, but because I knew he would never approve. He is so rigid, so black and white. He would probably say something about me not needing to be around an ex, or setting a bad example for the kids. He is paranoid like that. But I wasn't doing anything bad. We were just friends, reconnecting, just catching up. No big deal, right? So, I told Lucas I was going to visit an old friend from my sorority, Chloe. Totally harmless, right? I even pretended like it was a last-minute thing, because she was going through a rough breakup and needed support. That seemed believable enough. It wasn't like I was lying about anything huge. I was just adjusting the details to avoid a fight. I was doing it for us, really, to keep the peace. I left for Miami on a Thursday morning, and honestly, I was so excited. The flight was paid for. First class. Dominic covered everything. I didn't have to worry about a thing. Lucas didn't even seem that bothered when I left. He kissed me goodbye at the door, told me to give Chloe his best, and told me to have fun. But, looking back, I could see the little look in his eyes. You know the one? Like he wasn't 100% sure what was going on. But I ignored it. I brushed it off. I was free. I spent the weekend with Dominic. And let me tell you, things got interesting. We did some catching up. We went out for expensive dinners. We drank champagne on his balcony overlooking the ocean. He showed me a life I could have had. A life of luxury and excitement. There was chemistry between us. No doubt. He looked at me in a way Lucas hadn't looked at me in years. Like I was a prize. Like I was desirable. But I wasn't doing anything wrong. I kept reminding myself of that. I kept saying, Sophie, you are just having fun. Just catching up. But if I am being honest, I knew there was something deeper. I just didn't want to admit it to myself. Now, do not get me wrong. I wasn't planning to mess things up. I wasn't going to do anything I would regret. I love Lucas. I really do. Or, I did. But after a few too many cocktails on Saturday night, things escalated. It was the atmosphere. The heat. The way Dominic touched my arm. I don't even know why. It just happened. It wasn't planned. But I didn't stop it either. Maybe I should have. But I didn't. We slept together. The next morning, I woke up in his bed, and surprisingly, I didn't feel guilty. Not really. I felt alive. I felt like I had taken back a piece of myself. I told myself I would chalk it up to one of those things. I had a few too many drinks. I was just letting off some steam. It was a mistake, after sure, but it was a mistake that stayed in Miami. Dominic and I didn't talk about it, and I didn't want to. I just told myself that the weekend was over, and it was time to go home. I flew back to Seattle on Sunday evening. I was so ready to get back to my life, my kids, my routine, but I felt different, empowered, almost. I had a secret, a little secret just for me, but something was different when I got home. I don't know how to explain it, but I felt like a stranger in my own house. When I walked in, Lucas was there, sitting on the couch. The television was off. The room was dark, except for a single lamp in the corner. He gave me this cold stare when I walked in. He didn't say anything right away, but I could feel the tension. It was thick, suffocating. "Hey," I said, trying to sound cheerful. "I'm home. How was the trip?" he asked. His voice was flat, monotone. "It was fine," I said. I was trying to be casual, trying to act like everything was normal, but it wasn't. I could feel it in my bones. "Chloe is doing better. She just needed a shoulder to cry on, you know?" Lucas didn't blink. He just stared at me. "Is that so?" "Yeah," I said, kicking off my shoes and walking past him toward the kitchen. "I am exhausted." That flight was delayed for 20 minutes. I was lying again, just pouring more lies on top of the pile. But I had to. I couldn't stop now. I could tell something was off. He wasn't just being quiet because I was tired. It was more than that. I knew he was upset, but I didn't know why. I couldn't even think of a good reason why he would be upset. I didn't do anything wrong. Technically. He didn't know about Dominic. He couldn't know. I changed the subject, made small talk, talked about the kids, but he wasn't having it. He just sat there, staring at me with this expression I couldn't read. It wasn't anger. It was something worse. It was disappointment. Cold, calculated disappointment. The silence was so thick, I could hear the clock ticking on the wall. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Finally, after what felt like hours, he stood up. "I am going to bed," he said, and he just walked away, leaving me standing there in the kitchen, confused, and a little bit scared. That night, Lucas pretended to sleep. He was lying there with his back to me, rigid, but I could feel his eyes on me through the darkness. I knew he was awake. I was scrolling through my phone, under the covers, when I got a text from Dominic. It was late. I was tired, but I couldn't resist reading it. "Missing you already, babe. Seattle doesn't deserve you." A rush of heat went through me. It was like I could feel the Miami sun again. The message was innocent enough on the surface. Sort of. But I knew if Lucas saw it, I would be dead. I quickly replied, "Miss you too. Sleep well." Then, my phone buzzed. Dominic was calling. Like a fool. Like an absolute idiot. I picked up the phone without thinking. I thought Lucas was asleep. I really did. "Hey," I whispered into the phone, trying to keep it low so Lucas wouldn't hear. "I miss you." Dominic's voice came through, clear as day. "When is the next time I can see you?" I was thinking maybe I come to Seattle next month. I didn't even realize how loud I was getting until I heard Lucas stir beside me. I could feel his body tense up. My heart raced. I had been avoiding this conversation all weekend, but here I was, letting it slip right through my fingers in my own marital bed. "Shh," I whispered. "Not now. Dominic, please." Lucas's silence was deafening. He didn't move. He didn't say a word, but the air in the room changed. It became heavy, dangerous. I quickly hung up and turned my phone face down on the nightstand. My hands were shaking. I tried to act like nothing had happened, like it was just a wrong number, but it was too late. I knew he had heard. I knew he was putting things together. The next few days were torture. Absolute torture. Lucas didn't scream. He didn't yell. He started asking all these little questions. Little things that I didn't think would matter. "Did you book your flight with points? Or did you use the credit card for your plane ticket?" he asked one morning while making coffee. I froze. I used points." "Why?" "Just curious. he said. He didn't look at me, he just kept stirring his coffee. Clink, clink, clink. Every question made me feel more guilty. I kept brushing him off, telling him it was no big deal, but I should have realized it then. He was on to me. Lucas is a forensic accountant. He literally finds hidden money and lies for a living. Why did I think I could outsmart him? He was starting to notice the weird things I had done. He was putting it all together, even without saying anything. Then came the bank statement. Lucas was going through our finances, like he always does on the first of the month. Checking bills, balances, investments, and that is when he noticed. He didn't mention it to me right away, but I could see his face when he was looking at the laptop screen. His jaw tightened. The moment the realization hit him, I knew something was coming. "Sophie," he said one night as he sat at the kitchen table. The light from the laptop reflected in his glasses, hiding his eyes. "Come here for a second." I walked over, trying to keep my face neutral. "What is it?" "You didn't pay for a flight to Miami," he said. It wasn't a question. It was a statement of fact. "What?" I said, acting surprised. My acting skills were getting rusty under the pressure. "I told you." Chloe covered it with her miles. It was her treat. Because, you know, she wanted me there so bad. "Right," Lucas said. He slowly turned the laptop toward me. "And the hotel?" "There are no charges for a hotel. No charges for food. No charges for an Uber. You went to Miami for 4 days. And you didn't spend a single penny from our joint account? Not even for a coffee at the airport?" I swallowed hard. My throat felt dry. "I used cash. I had some cash saved up." $2,000 in cash?" he asked. He raised an eyebrow. A slow, agonizing look, like he was analyzing a bug under a microscope. "Since when do you carry that kind of cash, Sophie?" "I don't know," I snapped. I was getting defensive now. "Why are you grilling me? Maybe Chloe paid for everything. She is generous. Why is this such a big deal?" "It isn't a big deal," Lucas said softly. "Unless you are lying." I stormed out of the room. "You are crazy, Lucas. You are obsessed." But he wasn't buying any of my excuses anymore. I could feel him starting to get fed up with my lies. A few more days went by. The tension in the house was unbearable. I felt like I was walking on eggshells every time I opened my mouth. He stopped saying "I love you" before he left for work. He stopped kissing me. He barely looked at the kids. Then, one night, it happened. The explosion I had been dreading. We were in the living room. The kids were asleep upstairs. Lucas was standing by the fireplace, holding a glass of whiskey. He never drinks whiskey on a Tuesday. "Give me your phone," he said. I looked up from my magazine. "What?" "Your phone, Sophie. Unlock it, and give it to me." "Why?" I laughed nervously. "Did yours die? You can use the charger in the kitchen." "Stop it," he said. His voice was like ice. "Stop playing games. Hand it over." I hesitated. I knew what was on there. Messages from Dominic, photos, the call log. I don't have to give you my phone," I said, crossing my arms. "I have a right to privacy, Lucas." He took a step toward me. "Privacy? Is that what we are calling it now? Or is it secrecy?" He held out his hand, waiting. I didn't have a choice. If I refused, it was an admission of guilt. If I gave it to him, maybe I could talk my way out of it. Maybe I could delete the texts before he saw them. I handed it over. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped it. He didn't just check messages. He went through everything. He knew exactly where to look. He checked the deleted folder. He checked the location history. I watched his face as he scrolled. His brow furrowed. His lips pressed into a thin line. He didn't look at me, but I could feel the anger radiating off him. It was hot, intense. "Everything okay?" I asked. Down, my voice a little too high-pitched. I tried to act casual, but I couldn't help it. I knew he had found everything. "Just checking something," he said. His voice clipped. And then, a beat later, he looked up at me. His eyes were filled with something I couldn't quite place. It wasn't just anger anymore. It was disgust. Pure, unadulterated disgust. "Are you sure there is nothing you want to tell me, Sophie?" I felt the blood drain from my face. I wanted to scream, to explain myself, to lie, but the words didn't come out. I just stared at him, knowing he had already found everything. He didn't say another word. He just held up the phone. On the screen was a photo of me and Dominic. In the hotel room, in bathrobes, toasting with champagne. I had forgotten to delete it from the recently deleted album. I can explain, I stammered. Explain? Lucas let out a short, dark laugh. Explain what? That you went to Miami to screw your ex-boyfriend while I was here taking care of our children? Is that what you want to explain? It wasn't like that, I cried. We were just catching up. It just happened. It meant nothing. Nothing? Lucas repeated. He shook his head slowly. You flew 3,000 miles. You lied to my face for weeks. You gaslighted me about the money. And you say it meant nothing? He started tapping on the phone. What are you doing? I asked, panic rising in my chest. I am calling him, Lucas said calmly. No! I lunged for the phone, but he stepped back. Lucas, don't, please, do not drag him into this. Oh, he is already in this, Sophie. He is very much in this. He put the phone on speaker. The ringing sound echoed through the silent living room. Ring, ring, ring. Hello? Dominic's voice. Cheerful, carefree. Dominic, Lucas said. His voice was dangerously calm. This is Lucas, Sophie's husband. There was a pause on the other end. A long, awkward pause. Oh, Dominic said. His tone changed instantly. It became guarded. Hi. I am standing here with my wife, Lucas said, staring directly into my eyes. And she is telling me that your little weekend in Miami meant nothing. That it was just a mistake. I just wanted to verify that with you. My heart stopped. I wanted to die. Right there on the rug. Look, man, Dominic stammered. I don't want any trouble, okay? She came on to me. She told me you guys were practically separated. She said the marriage was dead. I gasped. I never said that. She is lying to you, man, Dominic continued, his voice getting faster. She was the one who booked the flight dates. She was the one begging to come out. I just, I went along with it. It was just a weekend. I am not looking for anything serious with her. She is a lot of drama. You can have her back. My jaw dropped. Dominic, how can you say that? Whatever, Sophie, Dominic said. Don't drag me into your mess. I am hanging up. Click. The line went dead. I stood there, frozen, humiliated. Dominic, the man who told me I was special, the man who made me feel alive, had just thrown me under the bus without a second thought. He didn't love me. He didn't even care about me. I was just a convenient fling, a toy from the past. Lucas lowered the phone. He looked at me with pity. Not anger, pity, which was so much worse. You see? Lucas said quietly. That is what you threw our family away for. For a man who calls you drama and hangs up on you. I didn't know, I whispered. Tears were streaming down my face now. Lucas, please. I am sorry. I made a mistake. A huge mistake. But I love you. We can fix this. Please. Lucas stared at me for a long moment. Then, slowly, he shook his head. I get it, Sophie, he said. I get it more than you think. You made your choice. No, I stepped toward him, reaching for his hand. I didn't choose him. I chose you. I came back. You came back because the weekend was over, Lucas said, pulling his hand away. You came back because you wanted the safety of this house while you fantasized about him. You didn't choose me. You settled for me. He walked to the hallway closet and pulled out a suitcase. He had already packed it. Where are you going? I screamed. You can't leave. This is our house. I am not leaving, Lucas said calmly. You are. What? I have already spoken to a lawyer, he said. I have the flight records, the texts, the confession from your boyfriend just now, which I recorded, by the way. I am filing for divorce on the grounds of adultery. I am going for full custody of Leo and Mia. You are going to leave tonight. Go stay with your mother. Go stay with Dominic. I don't care. But get out of my house. You can't do this, I shrieked. My kids! You can't take my kids! You left your kids to go party in Miami, Lucas said. His voice was hard as stone. You didn't think about them then. Don't pretend to think about them now. He opened the front door. The cold Seattle air rushed in. Get out, Sophie. I looked at him. Really looked at him. The man I had once loved. The man I had taken for granted. He looked like a stranger. A powerful, terrifying stranger. I didn't argue. I couldn't. I was defeated. Broken. I grabbed my purse. I walked out into the night, and the door slammed shut behind me. The sound echoed in the empty street. A final, thunderous boom. 1 month later, I am sitting in a studio apartment on the edge of town. It smells like stale cigarettes and regret. The furniture is cheap. The walls are thin. I tried to call Dominic the day after I was kicked out. I thought maybe, just maybe, he would help me. But his number was disconnected. Or he had blocked me. I checked his Instagram. He was in Ibiza. With a 22-year-old model, he looked happy. He didn't look like he was thinking about Sophie from Seattle. Lucas followed through on everything. He was ruthless in court. He had every receipt, every text message, every lie. The judge looked at me like I was garbage. I got visitation rights. Every other weekend. Supervised. For now, my kids look at me differently when I see them. They are confused. They are hurt. Leo asked me why I left Daddy. Why I went to Miami. I didn't have an answer. What could I say? Mommy was bored? Mommy wanted to feel pretty? I sit here, in the silence. And I think about my life before. The boring dinners, the laundry, the stable, the loving husband, the warm house. It seems like a dream now. A beautiful, distant dream that I woke up from. I wanted excitement. I wanted drama. I wanted to feel something intense. Well, I got it. I lost everything. My marriage, my family, my reputation, my home, and for what? For a weekend of champagne? For a man who called me a mistake? The silence in this apartment is different from the silence in my house with Lucas. That silence was peaceful. It was safe. This silence is loud. It screams at me. It reminds me of every lie, every betrayal. I threw the diamond into the ocean to chase a piece of shiny plastic. And now, I have nothing but the plastic, and it isn't even shiny anymore. I pick up my phone. No messages, no calls. Just the reflection of a woman who thought she could have it all, and ended up with exactly what she deserved. Nothing. I am Sophie. I am 32, and I am alone. And the worst part? I know it is all my fault, but deep down, in the dark, twisted corner of my heart, I still feel like I was the victim, and that is the saddest part of all.